managers knew that if you signed a bigger contract than $4,000, you had to sit on the big league bench on the roster for 2 years. And he followed the plight of those players. He said, "Thank you, Pete. Jim's going to go to the minor leagues and learn how to play the game." My dad made $72 a week in 1957. You can do the math. Figure out what he sacrificed so his son could start his career at the right level. I did go down to the minor leagues and started my career down there, and I actually made my debut a little after 2 years from the time I signed. But I wouldn't have advanced that far had I not spent a couple years in the minor leagues, and specifically 1958 in Missoula, Montana, Class C league. Was a tough league to pitch in. When I went into Boise, I'm 19 years old. The cleanup hitter for the Boise Braves, 23-year-old grizzled veteran, went on to become known as Mr. Baseball, Bob Uecker. Uecker was the cleanup hitter. My manager was a 27-year-old playing manager. He's 91 and he's here today. Jack McKeon, wherever you are, could you stand for a moment? So I started out that season, Jack, 1-4, and I thought, one more bad start, and my dreams are going to be crushed before they start. I just want to tell you this story because it shows you the fine line between standing here, being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and having one more bad start and getting you sent home. And Jack called me over one day and he said, "Kid, you're going to pitch in the big leagues. You're pitching for me every 4 days. Might pitch a little in relief between starts. We only have 7 starters. We have 7 pitchers. We have 17-man roster." So come September, 240 innings later, I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about pitching. I learned a lot about being a supportive teammate. And Jack, it still brings a smile to my face when I think about the situations I'd get into. Bases loaded, 8th inning, nobody out, close game. He didn't run out to the mound, fill me full of information and advice, stepped out in front of home plate, tossed me the ball, figure out a way to get out of it. And sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't, but I thank him for letting me take ownership of the situation and take ownership of the game and my position. Thank you very much for that, and I was honored to be a part of some terrific teams in the 60s. 2 of the guys that helped me win some games are right back here, Rod Carew and Tony Oliva, who will be inducted momentarily. Another one that sat back there for a while is not here, is Harmon Killebrew. So I'm very thankful for that, and I had 2 pitching coaches, Eddie Lopat, Johnny Sane, who taught me the art of pitching. 1973, Roland Heeman, Hall of Fame executive, claimed my contract off waivers. I got reunited with Johnny Sane. Chuck Tanner was the most positive baseball person I'd been around as our manager. Many times I thought he was going to send me home. He kept flipping me the ball every 4 days. Between those 3 guys, they resurrected my career. You know, when you pitch for a long time, you have a lot of catchers. I had 38 of them. Wish I could thank them all. 3 of them are here, all great baseball minds. Tim McCarver, Phil Roof, and back here, Hall of Famer Ted Simmons. And the late Earl Batty caught most of my innings, and with that mellow, soft-spoken voice, he was a great guidance for me in my early years. And in 1982, I finished my career, my last full season with the St. Louis Cardinals. That was the most exciting team I've ever been on and most rewarding year. Because when Bruce Sutter, who's sitting back here, struck out the last hitter in Game 7, it meant that I would be able to wear this World Series ring. And that's what we play for. So I want to thank Whitey Herzog, the manager, all the coaches, every player on that team for enabling me to wear this ring. I am humbled and honored to be included in this fraternity of some of the greatest players to play the game. And I thank you for being part of this wonderful day.
Wow. Did we expect anything less? An ad-lib speech, smooth, charismatic. He was able to just flow from one stage of his life to the next. An outstanding speech.
Well, you said it, Greg. We were talking about the marvel of Jim Cott is he remembers everybody's name. I barely remember you two. I sit next to you every day.
Back to the podium.
Bud Fowler into the Hall of Fame family, and to ask Dave Winfield, Hall of Fame class of 2001, who will be speaking about Bud, to join me as Commissioner Manfred reads Bud's plaque.
As the first black professional baseball player, spent his youth in Cooperstown before embarking on a nomadic career starring most everywhere he played. On-field talent led to stints with numerous otherwise all-white teams, but opportunities were often short-lived due to racial prejudice. In 1895, helped form the Page Fence Giants, one of the earliest teams on the black barnstorming circuit, spearheaded the creation and promotion of several other successful clubs while moving from pitcher to second base and, at various times, managing.
Bud Fowler, who bounced around from team to team while playing segregated teams early in his career. He was released by 2 clubs because teammates boycotted his signing. He wore wooden slats to cover his shins from aggressive base runners who came in hard. He played second base. By the end of his career, he claimed he played on teams based in 22 different states plus Canada and never got the chance to reach the major leagues.
Just amazing, an amazing life. And going back here to this town, Cooperstown, New York, in the 1860s, playing on the streets of Cooperstown with the grandson of James Fenimore Cooper, the famous author. Just amazing. I'm so happy here. Really looking forward to hearing Dave Winfield. Covered a lot of his career. Dave is a great student of the history of the game in every shape and form.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Glad to see everyone back here in volume in Cooperstown to celebrate the Hall of Fame class of 2022. Today it is my privilege and honor to be able to speak on behalf of today's inductees, a gentleman that was born and raised in this area of the state of New York, a man born nearly 2 lifetimes ago, who was introduced to this great game of baseball in its nascent stages in the mid-1800s. This African American is from the Empire State. His name is John W. Jackson, AKA Bud Fowler. So I'm pleased to be able to speak on his behalf today. For those who haven't heard about Mr. Bud Fowler, please allow me to tell you who he was, what he accomplished in our great game, and about his legend and legacy. With that, I'd like to take you on a brief American history tour. Bud Fowler was born on March 16th in Fort Plain, New York in 1858, only 25 miles away from where we are today. Shortly after his birth, his family moved to Cooperstown, right here. The village historian recorded 28 African Americans living in Cooperstown at the time. In 1878, John made his professional debut in the International Association. His playing name became Bud because that's how he referred to others. Hey, Bud. So he adopted the last name of Fowler as well. Now, in making his pro debut, he became the first black player to integrate a white professional team nearly 70 years before the great Jackie Robinson. Now, it seems simple enough, but knowing the times, it was vastly more complicated for him than just signing up to play, no matter what his talents were. There was something magical about this game, though, that caught his eye and in his imagination, that he'd spend the rest of his life playing, managing, and imagining what this game of baseball could be. He had a passion and pursuit for the game, and it became the biggest love of his life. Now, Bud's first pro team was located in Lynn, Massachusetts, but with various rules and prohibitions, he was often called to pitch as a substitute on other teams. Now, it's hard to imagine the challenges he faced. Racism ran rampant, even though baseball's color line had not been officially established at that time. This caused him to have frequent affiliations with other teams. For example, while he was playing in Guelph, Ontario, Canada, he was quoted as saying, "Some of the Maple Leafs are ill-natured enough to object to a colored pitcher." In Binghamton, New York, the players refused to take the field until Fowler, the colored second baseman, was removed. Despite the passion for the game, the color of his skin forced him into a nomadic career, seeking teams to play for, sometimes because of his own white teammates, or just as much as the opposing teams. He pitched, caught, played second base. He did that for the Keokuk Hawkeyes in Iowa. He played in the Colorado League, played in Kansas for the Topeka Capitals, went to Indiana to play for the Terre Haute Hoosiers, went southwest to join the New Mexico League, Greenville in the Michigan State League, and he led the Nebraska State League with 45 stolen bases in just 30 games. And I learned that he came through my home state of Minnesota and played for Stillwater. They hired him in 1884. Now, they played the first 27 games on the road. They lost the first 16, but Bud Fowler came up and got them their first win. He took them out of their funk, and he was rewarded handsomely. We gave him $10 and a brand new suit. Now, he played or managed in well over 50 communities in his career. Fowler himself claimed to have played on teams in 22 different states and in Canada. Now, that likely eclipses any professional athlete, baseball player that you see up here in the Hall of Fame, and perhaps anywhere else. It seems like that song that Johnny Cash wrote that you hear on TV all the time, "I've been everywhere, man, I've been everywhere," just for Bud Fowler. Now, throughout his career, his playing ability received high praise. Terre Haute Evening Gazette wrote, "Fowler, the colored player who twirled the sphere for the visitors, pitched a fine game and batted well. The crowd showed their appreciation for his work by applauding him every time he came to bat. So he must have had skills and good stuff, what we call today." Some fans loved him, but many of his own teammates and opposing teammates didn't. They didn't want to play with a black man. As baseball's color barrier grew increasingly explicit, his career shifted from a focus on playing to organizing. He was quoted as saying, back in 1895, "My skin is against me. The race prejudice is so strong that my black skin barred me." And that was years before, in 1887, the minor leagues had already stopped hiring black players. Now, facing those never-ending and unrelenting barriers, Bud then became a strong voice and advocate for an all-black league. With that in mind, he helped to start 4 new black teams. He teamed up with Grant Home Run Johnson to form the Page Fence Giants, who were envisioned as the Midwest's answer to the East Coast Cuban-American Giants. They traveled in a custom rail car, and they went on to become one of the all-time great barnstorming teams. The inaugural season, the Giants faced off against major league teams, including Cincinnati Reds. They lost a 2-game matchup with them, but it was not all lost on Fowler, who hit .316 that year on a club that posted 118 wins and 36 losses. He also had a hand in creating the Smoky City Giants, the All-American Black Tourists, and the Kansas City Stars. Think about this. Some 16 years before the creation of the Negro Leagues in 1920, Fowler was quoted in the Cincinnati Enquirer in 1904 as saying, "Some of these days, a few people with nerve enough to take the chance to form a colored league of about 8 cities they're going to pull off a barrel of money. Now, I know the field is there, he said. Fowler was described in the article as a patriarch among the black sons of SWATs. It has been said by others, that pioneers many times did not get to enjoy the changes they bring about or the doors they open. But Fowler's impact on the game and spreading the baseball to black communities around the country was indeed profound. Throughout his career in baseball, Fowler worked as a barber, a trade his father passed on to him, and one he practiced often during the offseason as he was looking for the next team to join. It really wouldn't surprise me a bit if he was one of the first team barbers in professional baseball, since that became his occupation when he finished playing. Now, ask any current player up here who lines them up, gives them dreads, knots, cornrows, or color, or who cleans up their beards. Poppy, who? You know. Fowler passed away at his sister's house in February 26, 1913. He was laid to rest just 30 miles from where we stand today in Frankfort, New York, where in 1987, the day before Catfish Hunter, Ray Dandridge and Billy Williams were inducted in the Hall of Fame, a marker was placed on his previously unmarked grave. That event, held by SABR, the Society for American Baseball Research, was attended by Hall of Famer Monty Irvin and one of Fowler's fellow members of the Hall of Fame class of 2022, the great Buck O'Neil. To show my respect on the way into Cooperstown this year, I stopped by his gravesite to pay homage. When it's all said and done, you cannot think of Bud Fowler in statistics alone. Much of his statistical record has been lost to time, but you'll have to understand his entire career as a stellar ball player, equal to and better than others of his time, who gained recognition and notoriety for his play on the field and beyond. He played professionally for over 2 decades, excelling as a pitcher, catcher, second baseman, and he managed for at least 10 of those years. He was listed as among the top black players of the 19th century and never wore a glove on the field, taking everything that came his way barehanded. By some, he was called the Dean of Black Baseball. So there's an unmistakable line that you can follow from Bud Fowler to Andrew Rube Foster, who created the Negro Leagues in 1920, to Jackie Robinson in 1947, and through the other inductees we celebrate here today. So I ask, or I suggest, that you remember Bud Fowler in a broad context, not just as a pioneering African-American professional baseball player. Remember him as a skilled athlete who endured obstacles that are hard to imagine today, as an early force in integrating the game, and as a visionary who attempted to create a league of their own when the roadblocks of his time were present, yet he still persisted. One last thing. I personally hope that all of you will see him as a man that loved the game of baseball from its beginnings, and as the very first player from this small village of Cooperstown to be inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. So beginning tonight, please pay homage to his plaque in the Hall of Fame, and note that here in Cooperstown, his hometown, that road leads to Doubleday Field. It's now named after him, Fowler Way, and it was done with much intent. So John W. Jackson, AKA Bud Fowler, congratulations, sir. You've made baseball history today, but you've always been a part of American history. So we all tip our hat to you, and it has been indeed my pleasure representing you here today and your legacy during this well-deserved recognition ceremony today. Thank you, sir. God bless you, and welcome to the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
Dave Winfield and his voice of God with an outstanding speech on the late Bud Fowler. 5 more speeches coming your way. After this break, 2. We'll hear from Sharon Minoso, the widow of Minnie, and Tony Oliva. We come back live to Cooperstown.
Thank you, Dave.
Coverage of the Hall of Fame induction ceremony is brought to you by Zenni. Get Hall of Fame style from Zenni with the new David Ortíz eyewear collection.
Ahoy, you're approaching the lighthouse. Retirement, not for Papi.
I'm 30 miles offshore. You can see me?
My Zennies keep my Papi vision sharp, baby.
How many fingers am I holding up?
Trick question. You got hooks for hands.
Ah, you're good. Could I get an autograph?
I should have seen that coming.
Feel the rush of performance at the Lexus Golden Opportunity sales event.
Dad, which one's your favorite?
I'm gonna go with Josh.
Yes. I'm sorry, what? I was talking about the types of chicken.
Come on, you know I love all my chickens. He is a really sweet kid, though.
Did you just fist bump?
With United Healthcare, access to quality healthcare may be closer than you think. You'll find coverage solutions for virtually any budget, no matter where life takes you, with United Healthcare. So access to care may be closer than you think when you choose United Healthcare. Learn more at uhc.com.
Panera chefs have crafted a masterpiece. Succulent seared chicken, a secret aioli, clean ingredients, in a buttery brioche roll made fresh to leave you speechless. Panera's new Chef's Chicken Sandwiches. $1 delivery fee on our app.
At Skechers, ensuring your comfort and safety is all in a day's work. Skechers' rugged, slip-resistant safety-toe footwear provides protection, plus many feature Goodyear rubber for enhanced traction and durability. And it'll keep you comfortable with Skechers' exclusive air-cooled memory foam. Skechers safety-toe footwear for men and women.
Join Kevin Millar and Steven Nelson on a quest for legends worthy of the sacred prize. It's unpredictable coverage that will have you on the edge of your seat. Join the adventure on Intentional Talk, weekdays at 4 Eastern.
Is heating up on a special clubhouse edition of MLB Network's Monday Night Showcase. Nelson, Floyd, Lowell, and Sabathia are back at it again as the Braves take on the Phillies. MLB Network's Monday Night Showcase, live at 7 Eastern.
Thank you, MLB Tonight.
Thank you, MLB Tonight.
Thank you, MLB Tonight.
Thank you for showing that live look into my home run.
J.D. Martinez touches the ball.
And the one where I made that game-saving play.
Was backed up, coming on, and he makes a grab.
Thank you for doing a breakdown of my swing.
Contact point is going to be more out front.
Thank you for all the StatCasts, the recaps, the analysis, and the highlights.
Thank you, MLB Tonight, for bringing fans closer to the game.
Two speeches down, 5 more to go. We're moments away from hearing from Sharon Rice Mignoso, Minnie Mignoso's widow, on this beautiful Sunday in Cooperstown. Back to Jane Forbes Clark.
As we move through this afternoon's program, as chairman of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, it is my honor to welcome our next inductee, Sharon Mignoso, as his widow, Minnie's widow, to come and join me as we ask the commissioner to please read Minnie's plaque.
Saturnino Orestes Armas Ariada Mignoso, New York, NL, 1946 to 48. Cleveland, AL, 1949, 1951, 1958 through 59. Chicago, AL, 1951 through 1957, 1960, 61, 1964, 1976, 1980. St. Louis, NL, 1962, Washington, AL, 1963. Electrifying left fielder from Cuba, blazed path for generations of Latino ball players to follow as the first dark-skinned Latin American to play AL or NL. Lifted Negro National League's New York Cubans to 1947 championship before setting American League ablaze with his base running and clutch hitting for the Go-Go White Sox of the 1950s. Led AL in stolen bases 3 times and triples 3 times from 1951 through 61, while earning 9 All-Star Game selections and 3 Gold Glove awards. Returned to White Sox to extend big league career into 5 different decades. Across 20 major league seasons, hit .299 with 195 homers, 216 steals, and a .387 on-base percentage.
Let's connect to fans today. Tom, in the 1950s, for that decade, wins above
It wasn't a big man in stature. And I told this earlier, but in 1990, when we went into Chicago, he actually took batting practice. And he was still hitting the ball. You know, you heard on the plaque, he played 5 decades.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Now we'll hear from his widow, Sharon.
Good afternoon. As many would say if he was here with us this afternoon, thank you, my friends, from the bottom of my heart. While experiencing today is bittersweet without him, I'd like to believe he's here in spirit with us, smiling broadly, his arms held wide, embracing us all. I'd like to begin by thanking the Hall of Fame, Jane Forbes Clark, Josh Rowich, John Shesta, Whitney Horn, also the Hall of Fame Board of Directors and staff who've made us all feel so welcome. Thank you as well to the members of the Hall of Fame Era Committee who voted for Minnie's induction last December. I'd also like to congratulate this year's 2022 inductees, Tony Oliva, Jim Cott, David Ortíz, and also the families of Bud Fowler, Gil Hodges, and Buck O'Neill. And I think that all of you on this stage would agree with Minnie when he would say that baseball has been very, very good to me. On behalf of Minnie, as well as our whole family, we'd like to thank the Chicago White Sox organization. Thank you for your kindness and support, especially Jerry Reinsdorf, Howard Weiser, Scott Reifert, Joe Simmons, and also Christine O'Reilly. I consider Christine Minnie's work wife and appreciated all of her help over the years in keeping Minnie organized with his appearances and many requests. It truly took a village to care for my husband. Thank you to all the players and families who befriended Minnie and our family over the many years. Minnie considered everyone at the White Sox his extended family, including all the employees who loved my husband and were so excited at his receiving this honor. Mr. White Sox loved you all. Thank you to all the friends and many supporters who continue to advocate for him over the many years. Bob Kendrick of the Negro League Hall of Fame, Joe Pisnasky, Bill James, Orlando Cepeda, Adrian Burgo, and Eduardo and Tony Perez. The list is simply too long to include everyone, but know we love and appreciate you all. Thank you to Bill Veck and his family for signing Minnie to Cleveland's franchise, where he became the Major League's first Afro-Latino player. During the Go-Go Sox era of the 50s, Minnie fell in love with the city of Chicago, and the White Sox band returned the love over and over again. Our family would like to offer a special acknowledgement to Chuck Comiskey and the Comiskey family, as well as Minnie's teammates, Billy Pierce, Nellie Fox, Louis Aparicio, Chico Carrascal, Moose Scourin, Jim Landis, and Jungle Jim Rivera, who all were so kind and helpful towards Minnie when he first arrived in the United States while playing in the major leagues. We also send our love to Ron Kittle, who Minnie mentored during Ron's early career and referred to Minnie as Papa Minnie. Over his 75 years in the game, Minnie enjoyed so many relationships with baseball. In addition to the major leagues, his career took him to Cuba, the Negro Leagues, and the Mexican leagues. Decade after decade after decade after decade after decade after decade after decade. 75 years in baseball. Minnie enjoyed a very special bond with his countrymen. Players like Jose Cardinal, our son Charlie's godfather, Louis Tian, and our fellow inductee, Tony Oliva. He played the role of surrogate father and mentor to many Cubans, including Jose Contreras, Alexi Ramirez, Orlando Hernandez, and Jose Abreu. Los Obama, El Todos. We love you all. While Minnie's been inducted to other esteemed halls of fame, including Cuba and the Dominican Republic, it would have meant the world to Minnie to see this day and be here himself, knowing he was inducted to Cooperstown Hall of Fame alongside baseball's greatest players. And what makes today's recognition especially bittersweet is that Minnie faced many obstacles to arrive at this day. As a dark-skinned Afro-Latino in the height of segregation, he knew of the racial and cultural challenges that he would endure coming to the United States. He tolerated them so he could play professional baseball and fulfill his own American dream. Little did he know as a pioneer that he was opening doors for countless others behind him, some of them who sit proudly on this stage. As a youngster growing up in Cuba, Minnie learned an important lifelong lesson from his parents. Regardless of the situation, respond to negativity as a gentleman. When an opposing pitcher came up and intentionally threw a fastball at Minnie's head, the very best reply Minnie had was to have a big smile on his face and hit a line drive to outfield. Through it all, Minnie was never bitter, despite the many injustices and hardships he faced. Today's honor bestowed upon Minnie is most appropriate, not only as a Hall of Fame player, but Minnie was always a gentleman and Hall of Fame person, off the field and in the community. Minnie loved people who they were as individuals, and he would say, we should all love and respect each other, no matter our color or differences. He was a great ambassador for the game of baseball in the city of Chicago. Baseball was his life. He was proud to wear his uniform, to come to the ballpark every day, to greet fans with a smile and sign autograph after autograph. Some people believe that Minnie signed an autograph for every man, woman, and child in the Windy City. I'd like to acknowledge Minnie's children and grandchildren, our son, Charlie Rice Minoso, Minnie's daughter, Marilyn Macias, and spouse, Astrubal, and grandchildren, Yvette and Astrubal Jr. Also his daughter, Cecilia, and spouse, Herb, and grandson, Lorenzo. Unable to join us today is Orestes Jr., who unfortunately passed away this past March. Orestes played with his dad in the Mexican League in the winters in the 1970s. And sadly, he did not get to see his dad's induction ceremony today. Second to the number of autographs Minnie signed is the amount of food he cooked. Holidays and family gatherings with Minnie were filled with delicious Cuban food and messy kitchens, which his daughters and I were left cleaning up. He would also have hours of domino marathons with his son-in-law and grandsons. During the winter time, Minnie and I would have very competitive domino games between the two of us. These were some of my fondest memories and fun times with him. Playing dominoes in front of the fireplace, our dog Jules at our feet under the table, his favorite cowboy movie on, and also him having something cooking in the kitchen too. Among Minnie's other qualities were his charismatic personality, positive attitude, hallmark smile, commitment to hard work, and giving back, as well as a passion and love for life. From a humble ranch in Cuba to the National Baseball Hall of Fame, what a way to honor such a remarkable life lived and to service to the sport he loved. Minnie was proud to be Cuban, to be an American and a professional baseball player. He also would have been so very proud to be a Hall of Famer. A big thank you to the baseball fans, and especially those Chicago White Sox fans who joined us today to cheer for Minnie one more time as he receives this fantastic honor. If Minnie were here today, he would also say to all of you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And he certainly would add, God bless you, my friends. On behalf of my husband, Minnie, and the entire Minoso family, we thank you.
As chairman of the board of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, it is my honor to welcome Tony Oliva into the Hall of Fame family and ask him to join me as Commissioner Manfred reads his plaque.
Tony Pedro Oliva Lopez. Artfully wielded left-handed line drive swing throughout 15-year career that saw him win 3 batting titles and top the American League in hits 5 times and doubles 4 times. Burst into the big leagues with 8 straight all-star seasons from 1964 through 71, earning MVP votes in all 8 years. As 1964 Rookie of the Year, paced AL in runs, hits, doubles, batting average, and total bases. Won 2nd straight AL batting crown, the first player to begin a career with back-to-back batting titles, while helping Minnesota win its first AL pennant in 1965. Awarded 1966 Gold Glove in right field.
You know, Harold, people don't know, really the younger fan doesn't understand how important Tony Oliva is to the Minnesota Twins organization. 15 seasons with the Twins, matched only by Joe Mauer. Top 4 in hits, homers, RBIs. He was a coach on the World Championship teams in 87 and 91.
Well, that may be the greatest impact that he had on the organization, giving them a hitting philosophy and a foundation. You start looking at those Minnesota teams back then, Tom, they all hit. They put the ball in play. They hit the ball hard. They sprayed it. That's his signature.
It's a great tradition there. He's a big part of it. And what a batting order this is. It's perfect. with Minoso, who they was described as the Latino Jackie Robinson, followed by Tony Oliva, his idol growing up, Minnie Minoso.
The Cuban Comet, he looked up to Minnie Minoso. Tony Oliva, 15 seasons in the big leagues. He's a Hall of Famer now.
First of all, I'd like to thank you, Jen, Rob, and the Cooperstown committee and the people who worked so hard to make this thing so nice for us. It was beautiful. But I hear today, I can't believe I hear. I look to the left, I look to the right, and bringing me some memory. This place right here look like my home in Cuba, where my father built a field that the young kid was able to play baseball. Look, exactly like, you know my gym, did I mention that? Okay. No, well, first of all, I want to thank God, my mother and my father, my brothers and sisters and my friends who encouraged me to follow my dream and come to the United States and play baseball. Roberto Fernandez Tapenes and Joe Cambria, the scout of Minnesota Twins, they gave me the opportunity to sign me and come to the United States. After 4 days of spring training, Minnesota Twins not having no room for me, they released me. They take me to Charlotte, North Carolina, with the way to Cuba. But in those days, they not can ship me to Cuba right away because we have a problem in Cuba with the invasion. They keep me there. When I meet this wonderful friends, Cuban baseball player, Rigoberto Mendoza. He's speaking with the general manager of Charlotte, North Carolina. And this general manager, Fair House, he's speaking on Calvin Griffith, the owner of the ball club. And the owner of the ball club, he signed me again. He gave me the opportunity to play in the rookie league. And you know, everybody here know, everything after that was history. I went down to the rookie league, I doing my thing. I hit 410. After that, I was a Superman. But I have it. I've been so blessed and so lucky. The veteran, the Golden Era Committee, put me in the Hall of Fame. And all those guys right there behind me, the Hall of Fame, who keep me in the ballot for 45 wonderful years. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, guys. You know, listen, when I hear the phone call for that beautiful lady right there, James, I can't believe it. I answered the phone. My wife kissed me in the head. Was about 30 people in the room. Everybody was crying. I don't know what to say. I passed the phone to my good friend, Julie, from the ball club. I said, Julie, answer the phone. Julie said, no, it's you called. And I was so happy. You never know how happy I was. I think that I was my last boss. If I don't go to Hall of Fame, that time it's all over for Tony. I think, I'm 84 years old. Before I forget it, I want to tell you, I was 84 3 days ago here in Cooperstown. How good can it be? That was beautiful. That's very nice. I'd like to thank you. The boat I get very dry. They both all committed. Those people, who worked so hard, all my friends, to vote, and keep my name alive. And those people work so hard. They work harder than me to help me to put myself in the Hall of Fame. I'd like to thank you to Calvin Griffin, the Minnesota Twins, for giving me the opportunity to play for Minnesota Twins and be my friend. Calvin Griffin's family was very nice to me. I'd like to thank you, the Carl Pollack and Jim Pollack family, for keeping me in baseball over 60 years for the organization for Minnesota. I love Minnesota. I'd like to say thank you to Dave St. Peter. He's the general manager. No, I'm sorry, the president of the Minnesota Twins. He's my friends, my good friends. He good friend to the family. I don't have enough words to tell you how nice person he is, how good he is for me. For all those years, I know him since he was a little guy. But every day I see him, he's happy. He is so blessed to be able to play for Minnesota Twins. I wait for Minnesota Twins all those years, because from the top to the bottom, everybody first class. I'd like to thank you, all my teammates. If you know what's about my teammates, if you know what's about those coaches, I like there's one coach here today, maybe small, but there's one coach here today. He's maybe 94 years old because he's old like me, and he was my coach. But he killed me. Mr. Jack McKean is here. I know what I'm talking about. He used his 100-gram ball to me and 100-fly ball to me every day, because in 1961, 1962, I was able to catch a ground ball, fly ball. You know, that was the truth, guys. But I was very proud that 5 years later, I won the Golden Glove in American League. Yeah, I'm very proud to be able to go to the Hall of Fame today when a fellow like Ortíz Miñoso. Ortíz Miñoso, I remember listening the radio in Cuba when he played for Marianao, Cuba. He was so good that when he good, the people say, when Miñoso, he good, the boa danza, the cha-cha-cha. That was a song, you know, that was unbelievable. And Miñoso for us, there was the Jackie Robinson in America, you know. But I still not believe that because you're black or you're white, you have to represent, you know, what you are. I think when you're black and you play good and you play hard and you know, give it 100%, the people admire you. No matter if it's white or black, the people care for you. I'd like to thank you, these people who really they care me. When I first came to Minnesota, I don't have no family, no money, I'm not speaking any English. Until today, I'm not speaking too good. But, you know, 1/3 of the Minnesota Twin ball player was Spanish, especially 90% was Cuban. We got the Solo Versalles, the Julio Becker, is like my brother, Camilo Pascual, the Pete Ramos, the Orlando Martinez, Valdivieso, all those guys was there. Sandoval Espino was there. You know, all those guys was there. I have a chance to play with them, and they babysitted me. They was very nice to me. Plus, I play for some great American ball players. I like Hamon Killebrew. I tell everybody Killebrew was too nice to be a baseball player. He was a good hitter, but he was a great pitcher. Great pitcher. I have the opportunity to play with another guy, my teammate. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame because in the 60s and the 70s, he was by the number 3 pitcher in the American League. This young man is Luis Tiante. I think pretty soon you're going to see him here. I played with my roommate, Rod Carew. Him and me, we roommate 11 years. You know, my good friend and brother, Orlando Cepeda, Tani Perry. You know, I have many great people, great friends. And now, I talk to you a little bit. Like this guy go today into Hall of Fame, the Big Papi. The Big Papi, he was from Minnesota Twins a few years. We have a good time together. But the best thing happened to Big Papi was went to Boston. Because Boston was, Martinez was there, Ramirez was there. It was good for him. But, you know, but I am sorry we missed him. But it's very good for him because as a baseball, the way the baseball work and the front office work, they want the players, the best for the players. And they think that for me and for the front office, they're very happy that he is where he is, from Boston. He got all this great year. He said, I don't like what he did against you also. Every time he faced us, he paid back. I don't like that, you know. But, you know, having the opportunity since I've been in Minnesota 61 years, I was in the Carl Polak era. Wonderful. We enjoy every moment when we win the World Series in 87 and 91. I have the chance to be there from Kirby Puckett. He called me Papa. Nice guy, very nice guy. I was Hobeck, was there. I work in the manual league. You have a chance to teach all those guys a little bit. I give a little bit my advice, not everything, all a little bit. But we did it real well. We win 2 World Series. And a lot of those guys here today, I wish I can say, you know, mention everybody, but it's too hard for me. But now I'm going to take another little thing for you guys because I don't want to take too much time. I want to introduce my family. My wonderful, beautiful wife. The one I met her, that Godet Oliva, when I met her back in 1964, I don't speak English. She don't speak Spanish. And the whole conversation was, what? And when I call her in the telephone, you know, in those days when she lived in the country, they have a party line, you know, about 15 people want in the line. No gringo understand. But we have a great time. Gentlemen, this is my wife, Godet Oliva, my daughter Anita, my son Damio. Pedro, he's not here today. He's at home. He's not allowed to travel, but he watch. He enjoy it. My son Rick, my grandson Joel, my grandson Alex, Nick, and the beautiful little Mary. and my brother Reynaldo, and my brother Juan Carlos. Juan Carlos, he traveled all over the world because he had the opportunity to play for the Cuban national team. Gentlemen, I'd like to say thank you to all the fans, all the wonderful fans, all those fans from all over the world. The fans from, I know a lot of you people traveling long way to be here. I have a lot of family here today who come out for long way. Friends who is here today who come out for long ways. I appreciate you very much. And thank you all those people, especially those people from Minnesota, the friends from Minnesota. I live in Minnesota for 60 years. I love Minnesota, and Minnesota is my home. You know, you guys been very good to me and my family. Thank you. I want to take a couple of words now to say something in Spanish. Estoy mirando muchas banderas cubanas por ahí, dominicanas, puertorriqueñas, de todos lugares, pero me alegro mucho, estoy muy contento de ser cubano, tú sabes. Y están aquí hoy porque yo sé que muchos de los cubanos están mirando lo que está pasando aquí hoy en Cubita, y ellos me apoyaron todo el tiempo en Cuba y aquí en los Estados Unidos y en cualquier parte que estén. Tú sabes, mi familia, me gustaría poder estar junto con ustedes, o más estuvieran aquí, pero por situaciones no pueden hacer, pero yo lo adoro, lo quiero y lo llevo aquí siempre en el corazón. Y cada momento que pasa, mi mente es en mi Cubita. La quiero, nunca me olvido de ella y tú sabes, le deseo la mejor suerte. También quiero dar las gracias a México, donde estuve mucho tiempo, que me dio la oportunidad de jugar, y también Manichal, Colombia, también fui en Colombia, Puerto Rico, que fue donde empecé en la pelota de invierno, y Santo Domingo, Dominica República. Me pusieron en el Salón de la Fama y es un orgullo para mí, y tener la oportunidad que yo he visto que tantos latinos ahora están jugando más en la pelota de todos lugares, no solamente de Cuba, de Puerto Rico, de Santo Domingo, Venezuela, de todas las partes. Este es un trabajito muy bonito, pero ustedes se tienen que portar muy bien. Y yo nunca pensé en mi vida que yo iba a estar aquí. Nunca. Mi sueño era jugar pelota en Cuba, si era posible. Muchas gracias y que Dios los bendiga a todos. Thank you very much, and God bless you. And baseball being very good to me and everybody who played this beautiful game. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
The great Tony Oliva freestyling up there at the podium in English and in Spanish. What a lovable human being. 4 speeches down, 3 more to go. We come back, we hear from the daughter of Gil Hodges, Irene Hodges, as our coverage of Induction Sunday continues live from Cooperstown.
Using the old baseball stats only gives you part of the puzzle. But when we challenge ourselves using advanced tools and modern thinking, you'll see the bigger picture.
Challenge all things baseball with MLB Now, weekdays 2 Eastern.
David Ortíz has been voted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. To honor his amazing accomplishment, Big Time Bats is proud to release this David Ortíz limited edition Hall of Fame collection. The collection includes a full-size maple bat that is limited to only 5,000 individually numbered bats. Also available are the Ortíz Hall of Fame baseball, chrome bat, and helmet. Go to BigTimeBats.com now and view the David Ortíz Hall of Fame collection.
Retirement? Not for Papi. Vision was key to my success, but then it faded. My settings restored my Papi vision so that I can keep seeing epic.
Papi!
Pappy, 5 orders of clam chowder, ready for inspection.
Good. Good. Stop. Under season. Okay, good. When it comes to affordable glasses, Zenni hits it out of the park.
United Healthcare offers low to no cost coverage options to fit virtually any budget. So access to care may be closer than you think with United Healthcare. Learn more at uhc.com.
It's a beer opener that turns off all work apps.
The new $2 cheesy double beef burritos. A 3-cheese blend with melty nacho cheese sauce and double the seasoned beef. And it comes in spicy. It's like we read your mind. Try the new $2 cheesy double beef burritos now at Taco Bell.
The Citi Custom Cash Card. A different kind of card that automatically adapts to you. Earn 5% cash back on your top eligible spend category. Up to $500 spent each billing cycle. Apply now. Visit Citi.com/customcash.
It's the ultimate power hour. Quick Pitch takes you around the league.
Things are heating up
For every must-see moment from the majors.
The defending champs are doing what they do best.
Quick Pitch, late nights and every morning, only on MLB Network.
It's time for MLB Pitch, Hit, and Run, the official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. Give the kids in your community a chance to compete in the 2022 Pitch, Hit, and Run Finals by hosting a local competition. Sign up for free at pitchhitrun.com.
On MLB Network's Monday Night Baseball, Betts, Freeman, and the power-packed LA Dodgers take on the Washington Nationals. Then they'll lace them up and do it again on Tuesday. MLB Network's Monday and Tuesday Night Baseball, live at 10 Eastern. The game is changing, and so are the shows that talk about it. MLB Network's Off Base.
What's going on, everyone?
A modern baseball show for the modern baseball fan.
It doesn't get much better than sitting around and talking baseball.
Weekdays at 3 Eastern on MLB Network.
I just want to let you know how much you're appreciated by the men up here on this stage. I rode in on the bus, and you saw the buses as we came in, and Billy Williams was sitting next to me, and we all were just saying, wow, look at this crowd. We know the effort that you put in, and the Hall of Famers greatly appreciate and are touched by you all coming out here again today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian. And as we continue our 2022 induction ceremony, as chairman of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, it is my honor to welcome Gil Hodges into the Hall of Fame family and ask his daughter, Irene, to join me as Commissioner Manfred reads the inscription on Gil's plaque.
Gilbert Ray Hodges, Gil, Brooklyn, NL, 1943, 1947 through 57. Los Angeles, NL, 1958 through 61. New York, NL, 1962-63. Cleanup hitter and foundational cornerstone of the celebrated Dodger teams that won 7 National League pennants and 2 World Series over 13 seasons in the late 1940s and 50s. 8-time All-Star, topped 20 home runs in 11 straight years, and hit 4 in one game in 1950. One of the finest defensive first basemen of his era, won first 3 Gold Gloves awarded at the position from 1957 through 59. Finished with 370 home runs, 3rd highest total among right-handed batters at the time of his retirement. Managed Washington and New York for 9 seasons from 1963 through 71, leading Miracle Mets to 1969 World Series title.
You know, Tom, this is the end of a long journey for the Hodges family this day.
Yeah, no one ever had so many close calls, so many disappointments, so close to the Hall for so many years without getting in than Gil Hodges. And I do think about the family. You know, I asked Gil Jr. how they decided among the 3 surviving children who would give this speech today. He told me, Irene said, "It's mine." Nobody argued.
Well, the first person that steps up probably has a lot to say. So we're looking forward to hearing Irene Hodges' speech regarding her late father, Gil Hodges.
Gil Hodges could have been in as a player.
Oh, when he retired.
Very similar to Joe Torre.
He was 11th all-time in home runs at 370. One of the great sluggers of his generation.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I would like to begin by offering a very humble and grateful thank you to a few very special people that have been with me on this journey. First and foremost, Chairman of the Hall of Fame, Ms. Jane Forbes Clark. I thank you for your most gracious and heartfelt welcome to the Hodges family. Each and every experience leading to today has been flawless and unforgettable as a result of your dedication and leadership. I'd also like to thank Josh Rawitch, Hall of Fame President, who has stood by my side since the beginning in support of my family. Your kindness has always been so appreciated. And certainly not least, 2 very special people who have held my hand and my heart along the way, John and Whitney. You are such a dynamic team. Each and every family representative is so lucky to have you guide us and cheer us as we prepare for this special moment in time. I would also like to thank my family for being here, for being a part of the most wonderful celebration for my dad. It is such a privilege to stand here today as the Hall of Fame honors my father. He was a very humble man, but he would be so proud to be here with the best of the best in baseball. 50 years ago, not only did the Mets and the Dodgers lose one of their heroes, we lost a husband and a father. Our greatest gift, although my father's life was cut so short, was his influence on those around him. His teammate, Jackie Robinson, once said, a life is not important except for the impact it leaves on others. My father sincerely believed that and led a life that has impacted others in a positive way. You will hear a lot today about Gil Hodges, the baseball player, what he did on the field and in the dugout. You will hear how he was the dominant first baseman of the 1950s. You will hear how he led all Major League first basemen during that decade in home runs, RBIs, hits, and games played. And you will hear also how he took a team affectionately known as the Lovable Losers and turned them into the Miracle Mets in just 2 short seasons. But I am his daughter, and I am here to tell you about the man he was. Nobody loved the game of baseball more than my dad. He worked tirelessly to make it to the major leagues. He achieved his dream, appearing in his first game with the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1943. But he loved his country even more. After his very first game with the Brooklyn Dodgers, he enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. My dad was a selfless person, and he knew he had to serve his country. He would leave his baseball career behind, never knowing if he would make it back, and he would serve and protect his country. My dad proudly served in the Battle of Okinawa, where he was awarded the Bronze Medal and a Combat V Medal for heroism under fire. Through all this, my father never lost sight of his faith and his love of people. During his time in Okinawa, he would befriend the Japanese children who were so frightened by the American soldiers. My father would gather the children from the village along with his fellow Marines and teach them baseball. It gave them some joy back in their life where the war had robbed them of. Later on, when Jackie Robinson became the first African American to break the color barrier in Major League Baseball, nothing was more important to my dad than giving Jackie all of his support. We were like family with the Robinsons. Jackie's kids played in our house, we played in theirs. My dad were not only teammates with Jackie, but they were family. My father made everyone feel comfortable and accepting of Jackie when he came to the big leagues. Recently, I heard a story about my dad, which I believe shows the support Jackie had from his teammates. During a game, Jackie was being heckled by the opposing dugout nonstop. At one point, my dad had had enough of that. He put down his glove, he went to the top step of the dugout and said, "If anyone else has anything to say, let them come out here right now and we will settle it." Needless to say, nobody came out and no one said another word. My dad had an open heart for Jackie. They were close until the day my dad passed. On the day of my father's funeral, Jackie cried uncontrollably, saying, "Next to my son's death, this was the worst day of my life." Soon after my father passed, so did Jackie. Duke Snyder said my dad was a great ball player, but he was an even greater man. He set an atmosphere in the Brooklyn team in which there was never any animosity or jealousy. He was a true leader of men and built camaraderie among his teammates. Everyone wanted to win, but never put themselves above anyone else on that field. My father had a special relationship with the Brooklyn fans. Even though he was from Indiana, he loved Brooklyn and became a part of his community. He went to church there, he walked to the stores, he would take us sledding when there was snow. There was never any pretense about him. He was an ordinary man and everybody knew him. He was respected and he showed respect to everyone as well. When my father slumped in the 1952 World Series, Brooklyn fans loved him. Who goes 0 for 21 and gets a standing ovation every time at bat? That's exactly what happened to my dad. The Brooklyn fans loved my father and they loved their team. So when the Dodgers finally beat the Yankees in 1955 World Series, it was one of the greatest days that Brooklyn had ever known. There was no more wait till next year. So it's easy to understand that when the Dodgers left Brooklyn, the borough lost a piece of its heart. My dad was also proud of being part of a Dodger team that won it all in 1959. After his playing days ended, his strong leadership skills would lead him to a managerial position, with his biggest days coming back in New York and with the New York Mets. Some of his players feared him, others complained about his platooning system, but they respected him. He was a fair manager. He wanted the best from every player on the field and believed they could do that. He felt the team owed that to the fans and to the front office. The expectation, you always give 100%. My father already had a reputation for being a stern manager with the Washington Senators. He was very strict on bed check during road trips, and when he found out that 4 of his players had skipped bed check, He held a team meeting the next day in the clubhouse. Never one to embarrass anyone. He told them he was aware that some of the players had skipped bed check, and there was a cigar box on his desk. At the end of the day, he wanted $100 from each of those players. At the end of the day, there was $700 in that box. It was important to my dad to create an atmosphere of honesty in his clubhouse, and he did just that. The most important lesson he taught his players and his children: never lie. He would tell us, you need to look in that mirror and have respect for the person you see. I know there are many here today that would agree that my father's finest hour was managing the Miracle Mets of the 1969 World Series championship. His immediate reaction to my mom: we did it. We brought the championship home. And that's how he felt. He truly loved his team, and he loved managing them. He knew how good they could be and how successful they would be. And now they believed it. The great Met pitcher Jerry Koosman said, Gil Hodges was the most important part of our '69 Met team because he made us believe in ourselves. The '69 Mets did what nobody thought could be done, and that made my father so proud for his team. I am proud today that we have 4 of our amazing Mets with us to honor my dad: Cleon Jones, Ed Kranepool, Art Shamsky, and Ron Swoboda. I would also like to thank Maxine Agee, who's representing Tommy Agee, of course, and to Sarah Seaver, who, as we all know, my dad loved Tom and had the utmost respect for him. So I'm so happy they are all here. I would be remiss if I did not take a moment to thank the most outstanding Met I know, and that is Jay Horowitz and his lovely lady Linda. Thank you both so much for all you have done to help celebrate this very special time in our family's lives. My mom loves you both so much. Your daily calls brighten her day, and we love you both so much. My dad's humility, ever present. In his office, right after the big win, my mom said to him, Gil, call your mother. She must be so excited. My dad's reply, Joan, that's a long-distance call. I don't think I should make that from the office. I'll wait until I go home. Here, he had just achieved a miracle of all baseball miracles, yet he would only do what he thought was the right thing. That was my dad. Today, I am especially happy for my mother. When the call came from the Hall of Fame and I heard, this is Jane Forbes Clark and it is my honor, I began sobbing, probably as much as I did when I lost my father. I was so beyond happy for him, and even thrilled that my mom at 95 would be able to hear this news. My mom is watching today from our home in Brooklyn. And to my dad, I love you so much, and I miss you every day. And I know you are smiling from heaven, now with our sister Barbara, who we miss unbelievably. And without a doubt, I know you're celebrating with Tom and the boys of summer. Thank you.
As we continue this afternoon, it is my honor as the chairman of the National Baseball Hall of Fame to welcome Buck O'Neil into the Hall of Fame family and to ask his niece, Dr. Angela Terry, to join me as Commissioner Manfred reads the inscription on Buck's plaque.
John Jordan O'Neill, Buck. Character, integrity, and dignity defined a life dedicated to baseball as player, manager, scout, coach, and champion of Negro League's legacies. Starred at first base for Negro American League powerhouse Kansas City Monarchs of the late 1930s and 40s, winning Negro World Series in 1942. Took the helm as successful Monarchs manager of the 1940s through mid-1950s, scouted for the Cubs, helping numerous black players transition to the American and National Leagues, then became first black coach in NL or AL history with Chicago in 1962. In later life, gave voice to the Negro Leagues, eloquently preserving its culture and legends.
Harold, what do you want to hear from Dr. Angela Terry, Buck O'Neill's niece?
Well, I think the one thing is to really capture the essence of who he was is really the Negro Leagues, what it was like, what the men were like. You know, one of the things that drove Buck nuts was Bingo Long and the Traveling All-Stars, that movie. He said it didn't depict what we did. We were serious ball players. We were great ball players. And they had fun, but they were great players.
He was a talented player himself, first baseman, the eventual manager, ambassador, MLB scout, key figure in Major League Baseball integration. Long time coming. Buck O'Neill is a Hall of Famer, Tom. Long time coming.
And he defines everything that's right about baseball.
Good afternoon. As one of Uncle John's heirs, I am appreciative of this opportunity to express the family's deepest gratitude for this highest recognitions for his baseball career. Though any member of the family could share with you their memorable moments with Uncle John, whether that moment was when he made them feel 10 feet tall, or whether that moment was when he gave them the keep on keeping on pep talk, or when they realized how blessed they were to have such a special uncle. But I am the one standing before you today, primarily because I hold the longest membership in AARP. And age does indeed have its privileges. So I'll begin by expressing the family's thanks to the early baseball era committee for their selection of Uncle John as a member of the class of 2022. We also applaud the committee for not subjectively limiting their interpretation of an exceptional career in baseball to a singular focus upon statistics. In other words, expanding their view to include the totality of one's work in baseball. In addition, the family would like to thank Mrs. Clark, Chairman of the Board of Directors, and Mr. Warridge, President of the Hall of Fame, for their calls of congratulations. Your words added an additional song of jubilation to our hearts. Thank you. If Uncle John were here with us this afternoon, his usual spirit of humility and gratefulness would be on full display. He would quickly deflect the limelight away from himself to focus upon those who loved, inspired, and supported his lifelong passion for baseball. For example, to name just a few, Aunt Ora, his beloved wife of 50-plus years, and his best friend. Dr. B.B. Martin, Black owner of the Memphis Red Sox, who in signing Uncle John in 1937 made his dreams of playing in the Negro Leagues a reality. J.L. Wilkerson, the white owner of the Kansas City Monarchs, with whom he signed next, and one who Uncle John always said treated him like a son. Ken Burns, the award-winning filmmaker and documentarian, who shone a megalight upon the Negro Leagues in his highly acclaimed documentary, Baseball, in 1994. And last, but in no way least, Bob Kendrick. President of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, would be acknowledged and thanked by Uncle John for his leadership in advancing the mission, the prominence, and the vitality of the museum. Thank you, Bob. A precious few outside the family knew that Uncle John had always wanted Bob to be his successor as museum president. Moreover, Uncle John was highly attuned to talent, whether it be on or off the playing field. Uncle John would also probably weave into his words to you this afternoon the notion of timing. That is the positivity with which he viewed a majority of the occurrences in his life. In this light, he would remind us, all of us, that his playing career was in the Negro Leagues, and that today he was being inducted into the same class as a Black baseball pioneer, Bud Fowler, and a former Negro League All-Star, Minnie Mayoso. For those of us who knew Uncle John, can't you almost hear him excitedly voicing one of his favorite phrases? And I quote, "Man, oh man, nothing could be better." Poor imitation. And though Uncle John did not wear his religion on his sleeve, he was a deeply religious man. In fact, if his visits to family included a Sunday, you knew you would be accompanying him to a Methodist service that Sunday, regardless of your denomination. And with those visits, I came to learn over the years some of Uncle John's favorite Bible verses. One he often referenced was Romans 5, verses 1 through 5, which reads in part, and I quote, "Affliction produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope," end quote. Personally, I sometimes wondered if this particular verse was one of his favorites because of the racial inequities he had undoubtedly faced during his 94 years of life. However, I never asked him and concluded that this particular verse was a part of his North Star. Our Uncle John was a man for all seasons, whose core was brotherly love. And perhaps there was no better public display of that love than when he would sing this song to adult and children audiences alike, including when he stood on this very stage in 2006 to honor the 17 Negro Leaguers elected to the Hall of Fame that year. The lyrics to that song are only 10
batting average .688 en route to 2013 World Series MVP.
When you're this popular, there are so many people that love David, that know David personally, that are waiting to hear their name in this speech. Am I right?
Well, everybody here feels like he's their best friend. David's got that effect. The roars just echoed across the hillside here. What a moment.
We've been coming here for years, right? And the crowd is so big and full of David Ortíz fans. No disrespect to the other guys, but listen to what's going on behind us. He hasn't even started talking yet.
No, and you have your phone out recording like all the fans, Harold.
You got to grab the moment, Greg.
It's amazing.
This.
Well, this is the grand finale of the 2022 Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We are live in Cooperstown, New York, and David Ortíz is about to address this massive crowd.
Voy a quitar los lentes. Wow! Cooperstown! Estamos aquí, mi gente! Before everything, I want to thank God for giving me the opportunity to be here today and for giving me the joy of being able to travel this path that had allowed me to be here today and hopefully inspire everyone to believe in yourself. Thank you, dear God, for giving me the opportunity and the strength all this year to stay strong and keep my feet on the ground through ups and downs and all the sacrifices that I had to overcome to be able to be here with you today. Just like you guys know, I'm real. And I'm going to talk to you guys in English and Spanish, para que mi gente me entiendan. Todo eso viene del corazón. This is such an incredible day, an incredible honor, and I'm so humbled to be on this stage right now. The last 6 months, I received a special phone call to be elected to the Hall of Fame. I've been thinking about how I got here to this stage, Cooperstown, today. I've been thinking about my life, my career, and most of all, the people that believe in me. I've also been thinking about the lesson I've been taking from their support and the power that we all have to make and a positive difference in this world. I want to thank the baseball writer for making me the first designated hitter in the history of Cooperstown to be selected in the first ballot. You guys got it going on. Thanks, guys. To Major League Baseball, for all the support you have given me throughout my professional career, I really appreciate it, MLB. Love you. This game is so important here in America and around the world. Thank you for all the support you have given baseball as a sport. So that is continue to be part of our culture and part of the heart of all the fans worldwide. Cooperstown. I would also like to thank the village of Cooperstown for opening your door to us, especially to the Hall of Fame. Jane, Josh, Chester, and Whitney. Thank you very much for being able to have us here and treat my family and everyone else the right way. Thank you. Thank you very much. I would also like to thank all the members of the Hall of Fame present today. My respect always to all of you. Thank you for being here. It's an amazing honor to be part of this elite group that you already are. My family, mis primos y hermanos, Albani Ortíz, Yacili, Eloy, Bambán, Robert, Manolo, ¿quién más me falta? Todos los tigres que son míos que andan por ahí. Ustedes saben que sin ustedes esto nunca hubiese pasado. Mi compadre Luis, ¿qué fue? No te voy a dejar fuera del paquete. Sabes que lo quiero mucho. Mis hijos de Angelo, Alex, Jesse, David. You guys know that without you guys, this would never happen. You guys were the engine that started this motor every day for me to get it going and keep on going. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being there for me always. Just like your mother, Tiffany Ortíz, wherever she at us right now. Thank you very much, Tiffany, for supporting me during my career. You are amazing. Thank you very much. Mi gente en la República Dominicana, ¿qué lo que? La República Dominicana, mi tierra, wow. La tierra que me vio nacer. Muchas gracias. Gracias por su gente que me ha acogido siempre como uno de sus hijos favoritos y me ha brindado su apoyo paso tras paso a través de mi carrera. Gracias por su música que me ha llenado de vida, alegría, sabor todos los días. A los tigres del Clubhouse que estaban conmigo ahí desde cero. Gracias por aguantar mi tanda que yo le daba diaria a cada rato, por su comida, su buena vibra, por su alegría y por su espíritu de guerra, que ha sido el mismo mío. Gracias siempre por ser Quiqueya la Bella. Nada comparado a eso. Presidente Luis Abinader, gracias por mandar la comitiva que está aquí apoyándonos hoy. Yo sé que usted es una persona muy ocupada y de mucho trabajo y que está tratando de mejorar lo que se llama nuestro país. Sé que no está aquí presente, pero gracias por mandar el grupo y su espíritu sé que está con nosotros aquí también. I want to thank the United States of America from the bottom of my heart as an American citizen who welcomed me with open arms since I was practically a child and giving me the opportunity to develop and fulfill all my dreams and then some more. Thank you very much, U.S. And to all of my American friends, consider this as an open invitation to visit my island, the Dominican Republic. Send a special place where we have a lot of good and happy people, beautiful beaches where you guys can go when you guys are freezing here. So show up in the Dominican. Before I was Big Papi, before the Red Sox, before the Twins, I was just a kid playing ball in the Dominican Republic. To all my coaches from winter ball, minor league, and the big league, I could not have done it without you. It was a guy named Ramon de los Santos, Pintacora La Uva, and Fernando Arguelle, who scouted me and signed me to the Mariners, to the Seattle Mariners when I was only 16 years old. They saw something in me, and they fought for it. Once I was in the United States, another gentleman named Jim Scotland, the Mariner minor league coordinator, make a huge impact on me. Also, Jim Beatty, who is also here somewhere, that's another guy who make a major impact on me as a player development director. And then there was a guy named Mike Goff, who was my manager, who taught me and our entire team so much. He always used to tell us, you have to go hard, can't take things for granted. He was hard on me, but I know it was coming from a good place. On the last day of the season, he told me, the reason why I was so hard on you is because out of all the players here, I think you are the one that can have an amazing career in the big league. Go and get it, big boy. Thank you, Mike. When I was traded to the Twins, there were two guys in the minor league system that helped me to build my confidence. John Russell, my manager in the First State League, and Al Newman, who was my manager in AA the same year that John Russell was my manager in the First State League. These two guys built up my confidence so much that I end up in the big league that year. I learned so many big things from them. These two guys were father figures and made me believe that they work with me every day. Because they believe in me, I wanted to show them that I could do it too. I also have to thank the Minnesota Twins for bringing me into the big league. Even that didn't work out the way everybody expected. I learned from my time there that once I get my shot in any other place, I was going to work hard to never let it go. into the last day I play. To all of these year new Hall of Famer, I want to congratulate you. It's an honor to be in this stage with you. Mr. Tony Oliva, Mr. Gene Cott. Those guys always were around when I was with the Twins, giving us good advice. Congratulations to the two of you. And there is another Twins Hall of Famer that I got to know really well, and I'm missing so much, Mr. Kirby Puckett. He taught me so much about the game, and I mean, he gave me so many advice, and he was so wonderful to me that when I went to Boston, I started wearing his number 34. God bless you, Kirby, whatever God have you. Then the Red Sox. I got to thank my man, Dave Giles, who watched me playing winter ball while he was the manager for the Licey in the Dominican Republic. And the minute the Red Sox call him, he shows up showing me some love right away. Thanks, Dave. I also want to thank this guy right here, who you also know, number 45, mi compadre Pedro. Tengo que darle las gracias porque él ha sido para mí un hermano, un consejero, un abogado, hasta plomero ha sido mi compadre para mí. Mi compadre, lo amo con locura y yo me puedo pasar el día entero hablando de usted. I can talk about Pedro all day long. I'm gonna let go now. And my agent Fernando, who has been with me since I was 17. Fernando, man, I can tell you no more, man. I can ask for no more. Combined with my man Diego, who also was my agent at the time. You guys have been incredible. I love you guys. When I first came to Boston, I have a manager named Grady Little, who was the manager at the time. And my very first at bat against the Twins during spring training, I tried to move a runner over. And I thought when I got back to the dugout, everybody was going to high-five me. Everybody stay sit. And the manager put me to the side and told me, hey, big boy, I don't want you to bring them, I don't want you to be here to move them over. I want you to be here to bring them in. The rest is history. And then I was lucky enough to play for two guys named Terry Francona, who have at the time a guy named John Farrell as a pitching coach, who took over as a manager. These guys, they did nothing but build my confidence, even through tough time. I love you guys, and I know I always gonna have you guys in my heart. Tito, whatever you are, man, you know Papi got you. John as well. To all my former teammates here today showing love, I gotta start with the Twins, man. Hall of Famer Paul Molitor, who taught me well when I was with the Twins. Like Troy Hawkins, Eddie Wardado, Cody Koski, Jack Jones, Torrey Horner, Matt Lawton, Brad Rackey, all those guys, man, got my back when I played for the Twins. I love you guys, man, from the bottom of my heart. And I also got teammates right here, Los Chicos Locos, Johnny Damon, Mikey Lowe, Dustin Pedroia, Track Neeson, Jason Varite, Tim Wakefield, Kevin Euclid, and of course, number 45. I want you guys to know that even with the God-given talent that I have, I don't think I would have made it without the support and love coming from all of you. All I was trying to do, it was bringing team together. That started with honesty and openness. My smaller teammate, where he at, Pedroia? Pee-wee grabbed me by the neck one time, and he told me, if you keep on pulling the ball, I'm gonna whoop you. And guess what? Big Papi got caught up on fire. My teammates always were there for me, and that's something that I always gonna appreciate. And in life, Remember, our teammates are our second family. Love you guys, man, forever. Oh, hey, wait. I can't forget about Jason Berry. Thank you. That man is serious. I love you, Cap. It's been almost 20 years since my first day in Boston. We have some incredible memories. When I think about Boston, I definitely think about 2004, 2007, and of course, 2013. After the city was shaken by a marathon bombing, I had never seen a community bounce back and reunite like Boston. When I think about Boston, I also think about the last game I played. Standing on that field at Fenway Park, it feels like the whole city of New England and each one and every one of you was surrounding me and was showing me all your love. I will always be Boston, and I will always be there for you, Boston. I love you, Boston. Mi mamá y mi papá fueron dos gente que a nosotros nos criaron con mucho esfuerzo. Mi mamá era una mujer joseadora, trabajadora, una mujer incansable que siempre quería darle a los hijos suyos lo mejor. Igual que papi. Papi siempre, sin poder, se fajaba con nosotros, conmigo y mis hermanas, a meter mano como sea. Tipo, a lo primero, el primer juguete que me regaló, me acuerdo que fue un bate y una pelota. Un guante y un bate. Y el guante era para uno que juegue sobre todo. Ya tú sabes la vuelta. No había guante zurdo por ese tiempo. Se sacrificó mucho para darnos lo mejor. Y lo más importante, siempre trató de enfocarnos en lo que se llama la educación. Papi y mami salían y hacían lo imposible para que yo y mi hermana tuviéramos una vida mejor que ellos. Y eso se lo agradeceré siempre en el alma. Cada vez que daba un jonrón, miraba hacia el cielo, solamente dedicándole todo a mi mamá, porque mami lo era todo para mí. Te amo, papi. Tú lo sabes. Te amo, mami, donde quiera que Dios te tenga. I always try to live my life in a way that supports others, that make a positive influence in the world. And if my story...
Full David Ortíz, as this massive crowd celebrates Big Papi as he is inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Mentioning so many people, and I just loved, Harold, the way he weaved in and out of English and Spanish.
Yeah, I think it's so important, especially in the time that we're in. But, you know, to my Latin brothers, you should never be ashamed of using your native tongue and delivering the message that you want to deliver. It was just great to be able to hear him articulate in and out of English. Not everybody can do that. So they should never be ashamed speaking your native tongue. We're going to see many, many more international players take the stand in Cooperstown, whether it's Japanese, Spanish, whatever the language might be. I think they got to continue to convey to their native tongue, to their family, their people.
Yeah, I thought it was beautiful. It was just so pure David Ortíz because it was so heartfelt. And I'll go back to Buck O'Neill's niece. She used two words today that I think really resonate with me, capturing the spirit of this day: humility and gratefulness. We saw that throughout today. Don't forget, a lot of the honorees or families representing the honorees waited a long time for that one phone call.
Yeah.
David Ortíz, first ballot Hall of Famer, no less humble, no less grateful for the honor of being called a Hall of Famer. Just beautiful.
And stories of humility. I had never heard of the Dustin Pedroia confrontation where he grabbed him by the neck. First off, I can't picture that. Can you guys picture?
I can picture
I see Dustin saying it, but not following through on it.
No. Right.
I love the other one with Tony Oliva when he said he almost got released. He got released, but they couldn't send him back to Cuba.
Right.
Because there was an upbreak going there. He goes back and plays his 410. He said, I felt like Superman. Confidence was another thing here in this theme today. And people expressing that and speaking into their lives. confidence. The more people Terry Francona talked to David, the more confidence he got. It's so important to build others up.
Yeah,
I just think that's another part of it.
Great point. It was so important to me to hear David. We see him so accomplished, but talk about the guys who mentored him along the way through the minor leagues. Everybody who gets into the Hall of Fame at some point in their careers kind of had a little bit of doubt. The road wasn't always smooth. And I thought he articulated that very well. We are nothing but taking advantage of opportunities and encouragement. That's very important when you're talking about young people starting in their careers. We heard that today.
Well, and I always like on Hall of Fame Day, they go back through their life, and we live in this snap, I need it now, this is the last snapshot we saw generation. But there was a lot of bumps along the way before greatness. And I think that's important to be able to see these guys, and they speak those messages. So
one of the bumps came from a story Jim Cott told. Trying to imagine being a teenager, and your dad says, no, you're not getting $25,000 and going straight to the big leagues. You're going to get $4,000 and you're going to the minors.
And you're going to learn how to do it right, kid.
Oh, man. But Jim Cott ended up here in Cooperstown. He's not alone. 6 others were celebrated on this day. What an afternoon in Cooperstown, New York. We come back. Peter Gammons and I will try to track down the man of the hour. Freshly minted Hall of Famer David Ortíz sits down with us after the break on MLB Network.
MLB Network's Monday Night Baseball. Bex, Freeman, and the power-packed LA Dodgers take on the Washington Nationals. Then they'll lace them up and do it again on Tuesday. MLB Network's Monday and Tuesday Night Baseball, live at 10 Eastern.
Retirement? Not for Papi. Vision was key to my success, but then it faded. My settings restored my Papi vision so I can keep seeing epic.
Poppy, 5 orders of clam chowder, ready for inspection.
Good. Good. Stop. Under season. Okay, good. When it comes to affordable glasses, Zenny hits it out of the park.
Dolls. Kevin from IT is worried about dolls. Why is he worried about dolls? Because he has Citrix at work, so he no longer has to worry about people accessing data and apps securely. With less to worry about at work, Kevin has time to worry about other things, like, is it possible for a doll to hold a grudge?
Panera chefs have crafted a masterpiece. Succulent seared chicken, a secret aioli, clean ingredients, in a buttery brioche roll made fresh to leave you speechless. Panera's new Chef's Chicken Sandwiches. $1 delivery fee on our app.
A demanding job keep you on your feet? Get the most cushioning you need with new Skechers Max Cushioning. Durable, slip-resistant traction helps keep you steady and secure. Skechers' exclusive air-cooled memory foam provides all-day comfort. Get max comfort with Max Cushioning on Skechers.com.
Weekdays on MLB Network, Brian Kinney hosts the show for the thinking fan. MLB Now at 2 Eastern. Then at 3, get a fresh perspective on what's happening on Off Base. Followed by Stephen Nelson and Kevin Millar on Intentional Talk. Weekdays only on MLB Network.
I'm ready to go. I've waited all my life, but I ain't got time to blow. I'm ready to go. So come in and sit back and enjoy the show. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
The NL East is heating up on a special clubhouse edition of MLB Network's Monday Night Showcase. Nelson, Floyd, Lowell, and Sabathia are back at it again as the Braves take on the Phillies. MLB Network's Monday Night Showcase, live at 7 Eastern. When it's about to go down, this is the story of the night. MLB Tonight takes you there. Big moments, big reactions, and big interviews. Only on MLB Network's MLB Tonight.
David Ortíz has been voted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. To honor his amazing accomplishment, Big Time Bats is proud to release this David Ortíz limited edition Hall of Fame collection. The collection includes a full-size maple bat that is limited to only 5,000 individually numbered bats. Also available are the Ortíz Hall of Fame baseball, chrome bat, and helmet. Go to BigTimeBats.com now and view the David Ortíz Hall of Fame collection.
Hey, welcome back to Cooperstown. Tom Verducci, Harold Reynolds here with you. Greg has gone down with Peter Gammons to catch up with David Ortíz. So, Tom, we get the feel for a minute. I want to ask you this, man. The miracle of Cooperstown. Every year we hear it's going to rain, and it doesn't. This is truly a magical place.
It really is, especially on this weekend. It seems like this is the place to be. You feel the soul of baseball, what's good about the game. And on a personal level here, Harold, I got to tell you, Gil Hodges, obviously a family connection.
Yeah.
And you know, I knew he was going to Hall of Fame since December, but it was only after Irene Hodges finished the speech that I was like, wow, he's in the Hall of Fame. Like, it's real now. And I think you get that feel today, whether you have a relative going in or you're just a fan of baseball, the reality, the enormity of it. It's the greatest honor you can have in this game, and I was just blown away by that. It just really hit me today.
I think the other thing, we just had a great shot of the fans leaving, and the impact of the Dominican League and the Dominican fan base has such big power. Hey, it's time to talk about Dominicans. We're going to go down to the biggest Dominican guy right now, throw it down to see what David Ortíz has to say. Greg, you and Peter, take it away, my man.
Yes, here with Peter Gammons and the man of the hour, Hall of Famer David Ortíz. We're trying to decide whether or not he should hold the plaque, and David's like, give it to me, give it to me. What does that mean to you, what you're holding right there, David?
Oh, wow, this is like a new baby right here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't get to be Hall of Famer every day, man, and it's a serious honor to be able to be part of this incredible group of players that have done amazing things and have having amazing careers.
David, one of the statistics that I love most about this day is a particular place in history. 500 home runs, 3 World Series rings, which probably mean more than the 500 home runs, Hall of Fame. You, Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Reggie Jackson. How does that feel?
Oh, wow. I never thought about that. Oh, man, I mean, those names that you throw out there, I mean, you know, when you think about baseball, you think about those guys. This guy was a stud, man. Those guys are incredible player. And you know, having your name mentioned in a group like that caliber, is something that sometimes you got to wake up. I mean, you have nightmare about it. You're like, am I in that pack? You know what I'm saying? But like I say, you know, so happy, very thankful and grateful to be part of this fraternity. And man, I'm going to enjoy.
Peter, you got another one for David?
Yeah, there's a thing that Tom Seaver always said about being in the Hall of Fame, that it's a remarkable club, one of the greatest clubs in America, but you can't be born into it, so you can't be royalty. You can't buy your way into it. You have to earn everything you do to get here.
That's what makes this club so special. You cannot go shopping and get in. You got to get it done the right way to be able to be part of this pack.
And was it really fun to sit up there on that stage with all those other great players?
You know, Peter, I'm so used to watch this on TV. And now being in it, I haven't wake up from, you know. Like, gonna take me a few days to you know, picture myself in that group right there, sitting with those guys. I got to know a lot of them while I play, and I got to know pretty much all of them once I've been hanging out with them past couple of days. And it's amazing, man. I mean, they make you feel like family. They make you feel like you're part of it.
To see the Dominican fans here in droves. I was here, I know you were, when Pedro was inducted. It was every bit as massive. When you walked out for the first time and you saw them all here going crazy for you, even before you spoke, did that hit you?
I tell you, man, I mean, I'm so lucky. I always thank God for everything. And being a Dominican, coming from the Dominican Republic, it's something that is very special to me because I know how my people is. I mean, everybody, the minute you land in the Dominican Republic, they give you a big welcome with a big smile. They have a drink for you just in case you're hot. You know what I mean? That's how we are. That's how we do it, man. I mean, the Dominican Republic is a place where we have a lot of wonderful people that believe in God, that give themselves the opportunity to be good on a daily basis. So I was not surprised to see all my people out there representing with the Dominican flag.
They're partying in the DR right now, aren't they?
Oh, man. The party gonna begin. The party began weeks ago. And it's not gonna end up for a minute.
I'm sure there's a big poppy party somewhere here in Cooperstown today.
It's coming, baby. It's coming.
I'm sure you got an invite. We'll see if I get it.